Welcome to Taurus season 2021. We are talking about April 19th to May 20th. So that is Taurus season. That is when the sun shifts into the sign of Taurus in the atmosphere. I hope you're grabbing your journal or your own tarot or oracle cards so you can make this message even more clear for yourself. Please join our all new Facebook community for energetic rituals. There's a pretty good chance that you know what your sun sign is. My sun sign is Taurus. So that's like the main sign of the zodiac that we're familiar with when we think of our horoscope. So what we are talking about when we shift into Taurus season, the sun, basically like this is the overarching energy of the time. So what we're doing right now is shifting from where we have been in this like fiery, impulsive, dynamic energy into something softer, okay? Relaxed, slow. We're talking about when you plant a seed and you wait for it to grow and blossom. That's kind of what it is. Knowing that there's a process. It's material, earth. This is where we really talk about our foundations, both grounding ourselves like with the earth and our body, and also in our heart space. Taurus is both grounding earth material, the root chakra, the red, as well as the heart space, the center of us, our intentions, where we create a foundation for our emotional health and our mental health, our satisfaction in our lives. Our theme for Taurus season, crimson and clover. So root chakra, heart chakra, red and green. Those are the places that you're going to want to connect, or you maybe feel most drawn to connect. Your home, your foundation, your family, your close relationships, partnerships, as well as your career, your finances. Wherever you find foundation in those things, the root of your satisfaction, that is what is going to come up for you this season. And hopefully you're also finding a way to be satisfied with your own efforts, finding a way to rest, relax, and indulge in the creative efforts that give you deep satisfaction. So it's not about hustling as it may have been last season. It is about deep emotional satisfaction, foundational satisfaction, and anchoring all that in. So welcome to Taurus season. And like I said, it is my birthday. So what does Taurus season hold for you? Welcome to Amaro's Intuitive Studio. So what we're going to talk about here now is what's in the air for us at this time. Uranus is going to shake things up, okay? So there may be sudden changes, enlightenment and awakening. These are good changes. These are the changes that are being made based on what we have been digging into, the boundaries and the emotional fulfillment that we've been seeking. Like we've been going inward to find our own satisfaction, and that is what we're going to access here. The changes that are coming now are the ones that are based on the boundaries and the decisions that you have made. This energy is freedom-loving, rebellious, idealistic, and technological. So you never know. These may be more free-spirited or wild friends, people who align with you on a different level, or these even could be people that live far away from you. These people that you meet over the internet. These might be new people, okay? These might not be people you spent a lot of time with before. You're broadening your horizons, you're spiritually, academically, or on a long journey. So broadening our horizons. We don't specifically know what this is about yet, but changes are happening that are going to allow us to shift and broaden our horizons. Our very first messages are right here on the top of our karma cards. An unusual example of genius to experiment with spiritual values. A different way of looking at the discoveries of long-range thinking or travel. An unexpected change resulting from the eccentricity of what is to be shared. Now, do those make any sense to you at all? This particular layout is going to line up in 3 places, okay? First, we're going to talk about what or where we lost that power, that foundation, that magic in ourselves. And then here, we're going to talk about our current path. And then here, this is our potential, okay? Over here is our potential. If you'll notice, this just popped out about 4 different times. I don't know if you could see it or not, but this just kind of kept peeking out. And this is actually also what came up in the weekly energy. All right, I'm not gonna read these out yet because what I wanna do, there's some little, there's some soul actions, some meditations and affirmations attached to these. And so we're gonna read them as we are able to deepen the message, okay? We're just gonna touch on them for now. So the first thing right here is something is changing in our perspective for what we're grateful for. Here in our current path, we're talking about making a difference in a, probably in a technological space, or with people who are far away from us, or we're just starting to meet through these new activities that we're enjoying. We're probably meeting these people online or have not met them before. And what excuses are we making for the long term? We have to be thinking about both our short term and our long term in order to have a complete perspective of our own satisfaction. Okay, so this is what came out for what are we grateful for now? Okay, what is changing? Perspective is changing here. Fire and ice, what are we grateful for? And that is like polarities, right? Fire and ice are polarities. And we'll find out more about what that means, but this is contrast. If you're not entirely aware, I want you to think about the lessons that we learn or we choose to learn from the difficult situations or uncomfortable emotions that we experience, okay? Finding the balance in that, and also like in that polarity, where do you exist on the spectrum, and what kind of judgment is there? Do you judge one or the other? Like, I hate one or the other. I hate hot, I hate cold. You have a preference. One cannot exist without the other. Okay, the hot and the cold, those are polarities, the yin and the yang, and they exist. They have to both exist in order for the other to exist. So consider that. Okay, this has to do with, again, where did we lose our power or foundation? It may have to do with the way that we see the lessons, or the way that we see the uncomfortable spaces in our life. Where our current path, what can I do to make a difference? Towering magnificence. That seems to be a very, very powerful energy. Like, if you assume or you choose to experiment with this genius, okay, and the eccentricity, you're going to be rewarded for that. You're going to, a side of yourself that maybe you don't know yet, or other people don't know yet, is going to surface. And it's going to be something that makes more sense. What is our potential? The Temple. Wow, is that beautiful? Isn't these cards so beautiful? Again, Taurus season. And so I picked all these. My birthday. We have the lessons of the contrast, the stepping into and believing ourselves, and then what comes from that. Wow, like that just, I feel peace. I feel power in the foundation of that. The temple space. The temple, like your life is a living temple. This here, changing our perspective of our relationships. We're talking about these relationships that are like our soul relationships. Feeling the lessons, the contrast, the push and pull from these relationships that are meant to teach us about ourselves. We may want the relationships to be something that they're not. And we have to be willing to listen and learn from the contrast of these relationships. Believe people when they tell you who they are and what they want. Not everybody wants the same things. Not everybody's values align with yours, and every relationship is different. So honor that. This is like incoming energy. We're kind of going and standing at the edge of this precipice and kicking off the first domino, starting something, taking what feels right, passion, inspiration, and just making one step towards it and being satisfied with that effort. Okay? And let ourselves be satisfied with that effort. And that's what you're doing here. With this genius, you're taking one step only, and then wait. Be patient. Allow it to flow in. Allow whatever is important and coming to flow in. And then the Emperor is our potential. This, again, has been surfacing again and again and again. Almost every single session that we've done in the last month. The Emperor represents Aries, a master of your domain, choosing to focus on you, your inner confidence, your knowing that your steps are enough. What you're doing is okay, it's right. You don't have to focus on all the other people. Let everybody play with the symphonies in their own way. It is up to you to decide what path you take. Look at the mountains in the back. We're talking about towering magnificence. Step up. Step into that. That is for you to stand up and take authority. Why not? Why not now? What are you waiting for? All that matters here is that you clear the bullshit. Sit in meditation, dance, sing, run, move, ground. I don't know how that's going to work for you, but sit there until you feel the power just vibrating from your own core. With the Aries new moon, we have the solar plexus chakra being activated, especially your heart space, your home. Those are your temple. What excuses are you making right now that is allowing someone else to be the master of your own life? Who is running your temple right now? Is it you? Because that's your job, not only your job and your responsibility, but your gift, your potential, your satisfaction is to own your life. You cannot own anybody's life but yours, because everyone else separates from us. And we can try to push and pull and tug and beg, but you know what? Eventually you have to realize that your energy is yours alone. And whatever you do with it is up to you always. And Taurus gives us this stoic backbone almost. Taurus is very gentle, okay, until you push too far, until you take advantage, and then you get that bull. Taurians tend to have a long fuse and be easygoing. Okay, this is not for Taurians necessarily, but that's the energy. It's more of an easygoing energy. Like, you don't want to fight with anybody. You just want to chill, relax, have fun, and vibe, and rest, and be cool, and indulge yourself. But when people want to fuck with that, you're not going to take it great. I'm just going to tell you right now, when people come in and poke and prod at you before you're ready, you're not going to take it well. All right. Knight of Swords was amped. And this is exactly what it is. I'm going to tell you right now, where we lost our power is impulsivity. Okay? Immaturity and impulsivity, running towards everything that calls for our attention. Good, bad, otherwise, running. Every time something pulls at us, pushes us, prods us, reacts, like it doesn't mean that we go to it, but it means that we react to it, like fight or flight. Basically, like, we cannot maintain a balance in this. Okay, we're not maintaining a balance. I don't know if it's like we're afraid of the fire, or afraid of the ice, afraid of the fire, afraid of the ice. The pendulum keeps swinging back and forth. You're afraid of both because you're used to jumping into things with like I'm gonna say insecure, but kind of impulsive energy that's like, every time something comes calling and nagging at you, you hop into it and you give it exactly what it wants, and then you go, why does this bother me so much? wow, okay. In the world, okay, this is our current path. That means that the world is at our fingertips. This is completion. This is divine support and completion, okay? This is you. And if you're choosing, okay, you choose to experiment with your creative genius. You choose to take one step and kick over that first domino. You choose to go into the world and make a difference in some sort of way. Your intentions will produce for you exactly what you are putting in. Whatever you are giving your energy to is gonna come through tenfold. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay? That's the lesson right now. Not just about rest, it's about what are we resting with? What energy is, oh my goodness. What energy is resting with us? Okay, is it rest if you're anxious? Is it rest if you have Knight of Cups is our potential. So we have another Knight. It's a little bit immature again, but this is an open. Do you see the difference between the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Cups? Do you see, can you see the difference? They're both a little bit like immature energies in the way that's like, I don't really know what in the fuck I'm doing. But here I am. The Knight of Swords is very impulsive, okay? The Knight of Swords just charges ahead and cuts first and asks questions later. It's boundaries first, cutting people off, you know, like just, it's just not thought out. Let's put it that way. It's not well thought out. It's reacting to fire, ice, fire, ice. This burns, it's too cold. This burns, it's too cold. That's not gonna get you ultimately, like react is not gonna get you ultimately what you want. So if in these relationships something needs to change or something feels intense and you've been reacting to it over and over and over, it's time to address that. And then the Knight of Cups with our potential, do you see the difference here is this is a slower, softer, receiving sort of energy. Now we're moving forward. We are moving forward. Absolutely. We're coming in, but there's an openness. There's a, it's not as much about like, get out of my way as I'm bringing you something. I'm coming to meet you. I'm open to you. I'm ready to receive, this relationship, this space, this attention. It's a different type of energy that's very much forward moving, and honestly very much like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm doing it and it feels nice, and so let's keep doing it. And it's not that it feels the different, and again, another piece of the difference here is this is before you have the perspective of like this long range perspective of what your potential is. And you've realized this now, you've seen this now, how this does not necessarily serve you. Not all the time. Sometimes it does, but not all the time. And we're learning this in Aries season. Perspective. Again, we're talking about shifting our perspective. Now you see the potential that you have in this current moment. Right now, you have this extreme potential to make a difference in the lives of others and yourself, and you're starting to soften and come through and come forward a little bit more gently, okay, and open yourself back up to new relationships, or possibly, you know, the ones that are already in your life. Please don't go anywhere before you click like, you subscribe to this channel and hit the little bell notifications, and then you click down below and join our brand new Facebook community. Let's start our deep dive in each one of these. So right here, again, we're gonna first right now focus on where we lost our foundation, our security, our power, our magic, whatever that resonates with you. This is where we lost it, okay? Unexpected changes, maybe in relationships. We're talking about growth, okay? These are relationships that are meant for growth. Whether they're long-term or not, whether they stay in your life or not, they are meant for your growth. The tallest oak tree once started as a seedling. Don't be afraid to start something new. So new relationships, new types of relationships, boundaries in relationships. Do not be afraid to speak up in relationships, because both of these knights are highlighting our throat chakra. We need to speak up. You need to say something. If something's bothering you, hurting you, you need to speak up. It's time to say something or make changes, because you're not being heard if you have spoken up. Don't just impulsively go chopping around or cut people out completely unless they really deserve that. Be a little more gentle in the future or as we go forward with these relationships, because they may be relationships that just don't align with you in this season. Okay, it may not be long term. What am I grateful for right now? So we're grateful for growth. We're grateful for unexpected changes. Adopt an abundance mindset. Gratitude is the antidote to all of our problems. So if we're afraid or feeling the intensity of, again, the fire and ice, the contrast, the uncomfortable emotions and the polarities, the extremes that those hit sometimes, that we have to experience to grow, okay? It is impossible to be fearful and grateful at the same time. Paying attention, again, to the polarities of those. The vibration of gratitude is just not one that aligns with one of fear. So it doesn't mean that you cannot possess both of those things, or you don't have people in your life that can be it doesn't mean that you can't go back and forth. Polarities. It just means that what do you want to hold on to? Taurus is like a long-term growth outlook. This is a slow, like we're talking about long-term satisfaction here. So consider what you want to plant and anchor. Okay, what are you grounded in? Fear or gratitude? Gratitude for the lessons that your fear brings. Fear is not bad. It's an uncomfortable emotion that we need to address honestly. Gratitude improves our health, opens our heart, and changes our state. Do you see how this opens you? Do you see the difference between the Aries impulsivity and the Taurian softness, the openness that we're like again, this is long term. You may need to cut things off short term, but have a long term look at that. Don't say anything you're gonna regret. Wait to feel out what you want long term in these relationships and see if there's a way to shift them for a season if they're not quite aligning. Okay, don't be so harsh about it. Let people have their own seasons, chapters, growth. Let people make their own choices without taking it personally. This month's soul action, the universal law of attraction says that we attract into our lives that on which we are focused. What's coming in is what you are focused on, and what are you making excuses for? Notice the abundance growing within us. Close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, and think of 3 things today which you are grateful for. Go ahead and write those down or put them down in the comments, because I would love to hear the 3 things that you are grateful for. And I also want to ask you, are you one of those things that you're grateful for? Are you something that you're grateful for? Is your growth something that you're grateful for? Your progress? Fire and ice. You are learning to hold the tension of opposites, of those things that don't immediately seem to go together. Within your being, without collapsing into confusion, judgment, or denial, there is passion and serenity, creation and destruction, new life and death emerging within you, within your relationships. Sometimes this is hard to handle. We want to make things simpler or just let go of the conflict and complexity and choose one or the other. You are a grand enough soul to be able to withstand the rigors of depth. To go deep, to live fully, to let the divine have its way through you requires a willingness to stand at the center of the pairs of opposites and eventually know that they are connected to each other, that they exist only in relationship to each other. To breathe and simply be. Now let's go into our current path, okay? Do we see how we're shifting here? And that literally aligns here with Uranus. We're shifting all this, like this perspective, these changes in the way that we view the lessons that are coming into our lives, in the relationships that we have, the way that we treat and speak and react to those in our lives. Now we're going to be on what's our current path, okay? This is where we maybe have lost ourselves at a certain time. Now our current path. Now, so this came up, caution, tread softly as to not disturb the woodland floor. And you wonder like, wow, I don't like caution. Be very, very specific about this, okay? We're talking about, again, the law of attraction, what we're grateful for. Be specific. Make sure that you're dealing with this here, that you're seeing this clearly, that you are communicating authentically and speaking. I don't want to say speaking your mind. Like, you don't have to speak up all the time. Like, it's not like your voice is always necessary. No one owes you anything. But what is your choice here? How do you choose to view this? Are you a victim, or are you like the master? Are you this emperor? Now, this is the past in a way, but this is the lesson. So don't miss it here, because if you choose to anchor in here what you're doing to make a difference, and you're still holding on to some of this chaos, you're gonna feel it later. It's gonna amplify and it's gonna become part of this. You're gonna have to deal with it later. Deal with it now. Deal with it right now, okay? Sit and feel it. Meditate on it, okay? Try the fire meditation that we just did for the Aries new moon. There are sleep meditations. I just released some of those like sleep meditations, because there's no wrong way to process, okay? We are processing all the time. The choice is to rest with it. Every night when I go to bed, okay, I can't say that every night, but when I'm like being conscious about it, when I go to bed, I go to bed with the intention of processing through things that are bothering me before I go to bed. That in the day, I go to bed with that intention. So put on the sleep music and just let it filter out of you in your dreams. Let your mind do what it's meant to do. And when you wake up and you're feeling something, listen to it, feel it, so you can move on. Don't you want to move on? So what can I do to make a difference? And again, we're just making sure we're not anchoring the lesson. We want to anchor the lesson here, not the old victim mentality. What keeps you up at night? What makes you cringe when you think about it, such that every ounce of you screams no more? Where can you create purpose out of your pain? Make a difference in someone's life this month, big or small, because all of it makes a difference. We're talking about our discomfort, okay? The discomfort in these relationships that we're learning from is going to be something of like a part of the experience that connects us, either to others, helps us. It's gonna let us influence and help other people through things, because we have experienced the growth there as well, okay? Towering and magnificent. So what comes when we choose to take this step and choose to anchor in the lesson and the growth from this pain and this discomfort? You are entering the presence of a truly great and sublime divinity. It is without form, yet exists in all forms. Now, I find that really interesting. I just want to side note that, because we're talking about Aquarius, and that's air, and we're talking about the internet technology, and so I find that really interesting that it's talking about has no form yet exists within all forms. okay? We're talking about something that is everywhere, surrounding us, in the air, vibrations, atmosphere, energy. Okay, this is not necessarily a physical manifestation. It is humbling and yet asks nothing of you. It just is. And when we encounter it, we are moved beyond words, beyond mind, and into realms of the heart that we may never have experienced before. Again, the heart. Taurian time, the heart space. It takes a brave soul to meet the towering majesty of divine presence. It can be a terrifying experience as limitations, preconceived notions, and identities crumble in its wake. You are being brought to this place out of love because you are ready. Your soul has been craving connection to something so much larger than itself, to find something worthy to which it can devote itself entirely. This greatness is becoming available to you now, to be witnessed to the extent that it is helpful, so that you may find the greater purpose of service which your heart craves. You are ready. What can you do to make a difference? See? Do you see? What can you do to make a difference? All you have to do, okay? Experiment, play, kick over the first domino. You're supported in this energy. The energy is purely supportive of you. It's telling you you can have whatever you want. Put your pure intentions towards it and trust that when you start anchoring in and feeling yourself, doing what feels right to you, serving in the ways that feels right to you, honoring the energy that feels right to you, the relationships that feel right to you, your potential is activating. Learn these beautiful lessons. They're beautiful lessons, okay? Some of this pain is not fun. It's not a fun thing to talk about, but you have to think it's not bad. It's cleansing. It's uncomfortable, but it brings us the purging, that discomfort. Like, you know, when you purge your house, you purge like trash and belongings. It's a pile. It's a mess before it gets cleared away, isn't it? It's this big, it looks worse than when you started until it gets taken away and cleared. So you have to consider that. Don't get stuck in the mess. Organize it. Organize it to your benefit, okay? Align it, line it up. So that way you only have to take one little step, okay? Your effort is aligned way differently. You're not begging, pleading, pulling, tugging. You are letting the dominoes knock themselves over. And that's going to save you so much energy. And that's exactly what's going to allow you to rest. All right, let's deep dive into our potential now. What excuses am I making right now? And this is going to hinder our potential, okay? Right now, it's saying, pay attention here. Caution. What excuses are you making still? Because do you want those to amplify? No more waiting. There will never be a good enough time. The time is now. If it is important enough to you, you will find a way. This month, make a decision to do it, even if you don't feel ready. Listen to your heart, and you will be led. Again, the heart, the heart, the heart, the heart. Again and again and again. The heart, the heart, the heart. That is what we are doing, okay? The heart chakra is never going to steer you wrong. You know, do you know when we get confused is because we feel stuff and then our mind tells us, go do this, go do this. Oh, no. Oh, no, not them. They don't like you. Oh, don't do that. They didn't pay you attention. Don't reach out. Don't ask. Don't help. What about you? What about, like all the places our minds race when we go to give and to share and to love on others. And sometimes those people are not the right people who are not deserving of our energy at that moment. But sometimes we let our insecurities run rampant and we do not center ourselves It is time to embrace in the dewdrops of life before they disappear with the morning sun. And think of that right now. If you make too many excuses, you know that things move on without you. Life is not going to wait for you. Remember, everything is moving forward. Okay? Everything continues to move forward. Even if it feels stagnant, life is moving. And if you're not moving with it, who's missing out ultimately, and who do you have to blame for that? We have to choose self-responsibility, to learn from our own excuses, to grow. The lover and the beloved meet in sacred space. They take respite from cares of the world, entering into sanctuary where only they exist. You are in need of this. Meditation, connection, and dance, intimacy, and surrender into the moment. Full circle from the beginning of this, okay? What did we say? Meditation, dance. Your body and soul need to enter the temple and participate in sacred ceremony. Choose to gift this to yourself. Set aside time. Turn off the computer and cell phone. Turn on music and set the lighting. Be in the present moment. Do you remember your body? Yes, here it is. Can you be in its temple and presence with delight? Taurus season is all about the body, too, grounding, anchoring into the body. This is full circle. And you see that your potential is here. It is entirely up to you to decide where you're going to anchor this and which direction your life is moving in. Do you want to kick off the domino that moves you backwards? Okay? Or which way are you going? It's your choice. Okay? It's your choice what is going to start to move and transform in your life and change. It is completely up to you. All right, friends, and here we're coming to the end. Our final advice from the cosmos, from our karma cards. Here, stir up the situation by using your vision as if it or they came from all there is. Wow, that's it right here. Be open to new ideas about what's new and different about the philosophies and laws involved. Invent a way to use in an unconventional way and do it in a big way. So move forward, but use your energy wisely. Take the time now to commit to your long-term satisfaction, your long-term contentment. Make the changes very gently. Open yourself up, okay, for the potential. Confidently open yourself up and know that every step you take is bringing you a world, okay? Every choice you make creates your world, and your choices, your intentions, and the authenticity and the purpose with which you move into this world will absolutely be fulfilled. What is that? What's it going to be? I don't want to tell you to be careful, but make sure that you're anchoring in exactly what you want, okay? So you can learn to embrace all the magnificence within you. Sit with it. Decide what you really want in these relationships, and where you can grow. What changes you can make, and how you can help other people from the discomfort that you've been experiencing in your life. And try out the brand new playlist for sleep meditation, because in Taurus season, you want to work smarter and not harder. Meditating while you dream is like the perfect combo. I really appreciate you being here.